presentation today.
Thank you, Chris. Good morning, everyone. I think I wanted to, before we jump in the agenda, start with the introduction and just go over the logistics a little bit. You're all going to be staying on mute, but in the Q&A section, the questions and answers, please, if you could enter your name and organization in the Q&A box. Please share your questions that you may have. We will try to address those questions at the end, and all official answers will be posted on the Metro-North Workforce Board website. And just as I think you all received that window, webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be posted on our website. So for the agenda today, I think we're going to start with a quick introduction. Our purpose today, our goal is to share kind of the overview of the MassHire Metro-North Board. We will overview the purpose of the RFP. We will talk about the funding available, the evaluation criteria, some timeline, the resources that you may consider while going through the application process. And as I mentioned, we are going to have some time for questions and answers. So as a further introduction, I wanted to first of all introduce myself. My name is Natalia Salagornik. I'm Director of Workforce Systems at Metro-North Workforce Board. Today, I have Chris Albrizio-Lee, the President and CEO, and Jenny Sin, she's a Senior Director of Workforce Development. All right, so I think we wanted to give you the overview for you to sort of get a sense of our area, the geography we work with, the population, and we wanted to start with the overview of our region. So Metro-North region is comprised of 20 cities and towns, starting with the North Reading and Wilmington in the northern area, and all the way in the bordering with Boston region, where we work with Chelsea, Cambridge, Somerville, and other communities. So MassHire Metro-North Workforce Board is part of the MassHire systems. We are one of the 16 workforce development boards in the Commonwealth, one of the regions. Basically, what I wanted to talk here is that we want to share our mission and our goals at the board. We basically work with generate resources, creating and promoting programs and policies that enable residents to maximize economic self-sufficiency and businesses to have access to skilled and productive workforce. While staying in compliance and relying on the federal policies, we also set local workforce policies and determining how we can best utilize the workforce development funds. There is a continuing efforts to develop partnerships to align the needs of employers and connect them with the skilled workforce, as well as last but not least, and very important, we oversee Metro-North one-stop career centers in our region. There are currently 2 career centers, one in Cambridge, one in Woburn, and we also have an affiliate site in Chelsea. As for Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, this is the landmark legislation that came into law in 2014. Basically, the main purpose is to improve the public workforce, to provide the adults and dislocated worker, underemployed and unemployed folks with employment and quality training programs. The WIWA program is funded through the U.S. Department of Labor to help job seekers access employment, education, training, and match employers with a skilled workforce. Part of the WIWA requirement is that the board is required to go through the competitive selection process to procure one-stop career center to provide career training and employer services to the population we work with. We're also working on Basically, the process is going to be to select the qualified one-stop career center operator to provide the services under WIOA and on other public and private funding. The special emphasis here is the innovative service delivery and comprehensive customer access approach that serves customers in all backgrounds with a range of employment barriers and providing them with support that they need. The vision of Metro North Workforce Board is to seek innovative service delivery proposals that offer a range of services to both employers and job seekers based on individual needs and employer demand. The successful applications will describe in details the plan that will show the ability to innovate, the ability to achieve, track, and report outcomes, the ability to develop complex programs while working under multiple sources of funding, demonstrating ability to secure additional funding to supplement existing funding streams, and meet government accounting and expense requirements. As I mentioned previously, the emphasis here is the customer access and innovation. The customer access, kind of the vision of the Metro North Career Center is the customer access can be done through multiple entry points. So here we're talking about a more flexible system, customer access through outreach strategies across the whole Metro North region, including areas with high unemployment. Expansive language capacity. This is where the career centers should have sufficient language capacity and access to address these challenges. Innovation strategies to deliver employer and job seeker services, including trauma-informed approach. And last but not least, the vision of the Career Center is to provide innovative services to the population, including limited English speakers, individuals with basic skills deficiency, veterans, highly indicated immigrants, and individuals with criminal backgrounds. Another part of kind of the portion of the vision of the Career Center itself is the human resource vendor that works with employers and building those connections with employers, industry occupational experts with employer relations in Metro North. We would look for the working with employers in the target industries such as healthcare and information technology. These are the priority sectors in Metro North region currently. The vision of the Career Center is to develop business strategy that will align with regional workforce development priorities, provide a plan to reach employers and provide quality services, respond well to the demands and needs of the employers and connect them with the skilled workforce, and provide the access to services to job seekers. The employer services encompasses sort of variety, array of kind of the programs and resources and services, including the job matching, job fairs, customized recruitments, employer professional development. When it comes to the career services, when the Career Center staff work on the ground with the customers, that is comprised of the basic services where the customers can access our resources, as well as individualized, intensive case management services, access to training programs and training services. So under WIOA, under Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, we are working sort of under the dislocated worker and adult services. These are sort of the two funding channels, but the main area is the sort of the kind of the type of services we're looking for, the quality that we are looking to provide, the career pathways, and that also includes the in-depth individualized career services, access to individual training accounts, vouchers for customers when they try to enter occupational skills or education training. The Career Center is looking to also to develop maybe alternative training models. And this is where they also work with customers, addressing their needs through supportive services that the customers may access. Very important part of the work that is happening within our region is the partnership with all of our WIOA partners. Metro North Career Center basically is a sort of a inevitable and essential piece of the integrated workforce development system, and is the Career Center. This is where the Career Center operator will be responsible for continuing collaboration with required partners identified in WIOA in order to serve our shared customers through workforce innovation activities and programs. So the required partners include the Department of Transitional Assistance, the Veteran Services, Youth Build Program, Adult Basic Education. So this is, again, as I want to highlight, this is a very critical and important piece of the work that is happening in our region that the Career Center operator would be responsible to implement. Couple of things I wanted to highlight here as our resources that you really, I encourage you to consider, specifically in the application process. So we would refer you to our local 4-year plan and local strategic plan. There is also a blueprint report that is basically done in partnership and collaboration with Metro Southwest and the Boston region. I also want to encourage you to refer to our state policies and, of course, WIOA, all the federal guidelines. As far as funding availability, a couple of highlights here. Approximately as of FY24, approximately there's 3.8 million estimated. And again, that could be subject to change when it comes to FY25. There's also support services available to the job seekers with 3,000 for adult and 3,000 for dislocated worker. And kind of the review of the funding and based on the programs you may you may find in our RFP. Additional considerations that you wanted to kind of keep in mind is, first of all, that there are carryover customers that they're currently receiving services. So these carried over customers are going to be smoothly and should be smoothly transitioned into the new kind of the new form when the new operator takes place. There are also current locations that the Career Center operator needs to keep in mind and take into consideration. Startup costs are allowed. And as far as kind of the funding model itself, please keep in mind this is performance-based, while it is also cost reimbursement funding. So this is based on the cost reimbursement model. The Career Center operator also should consider that there can be interviewing all of the current staff that are looking to stay in the Career Center. The eligible bidders, the one thing I wanted to mention is that they're the bidders who basically could be applying for RFP Career Center operator as a private, for-profit, a non-profit company, or a government agency, and that includes institution of higher education, community organizations, labor organizations, or consortium of public agencies, as well as the business organizations, including chambers of commerce. As far as the consortiums, a couple of items that we wanted to highlight here that we would look at. The Career Center operator would certainly need to provide information on the organizational chart if there's a consortium of multiple organizations involved and submitting their application. the partner fiscal responsibility, the flow of funds, and sort of allocation of efforts where the roles and responsibilities are of each collaborator. You probably have taken a look at the evaluation criteria in our RFP document. So this is some sort of, again, the reminder and the overview how the evaluation will be done and the points. And a couple of reminders as far as when letters of intent should be submitted and when the proposals are due. The letter of intent is due November 22nd. Again, today we give you a chance. Please share your questions in the Q&A box. But you also should feel free to send your questions to our RFP MassHire Metro North email. And as far as proposals, the proposals are due on December 22nd, 2023 of this year, basically. Proposal content is something that you probably will continue to take time to familiarize yourself. There are certain documents that are required as a part of the application, including the partnership form, the summary, the fiscal questionnaire, tax exemption certificate, one-stop center checklist, and so many other items that you could see here on the slide. So this concludes the presentation on my end. As I mentioned, please feel free to share questions in the Q&A box, as well as you can contact the RFP MassHire Metro North email. If you want to do that, please feel free. We will try to address these questions, as well as we will be posting official answers on the Metro North Workforce Board website. All right, so Jenny or Chris, do you want to take it from here? Or you want me to address any other questions?
So we have one question in terms of confirming the deadline for submitting questions. Can you bring that timeline back up, Natalia?
The deadline for submitting questions as far as when we would expect as sort of receive them, correct?
Yes, the deadline for submitting questions to the RFP.
All right, so Jenny, I don't know if you want to take it on that, but I assume there is sort of flexibility as far as probably can align with the letter of intent deadline, or you have a certain kind of a set of days.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. So in the RFP, it states that all questions must be received by December 13th.
13th, okay.
And then we have a second question in terms of how often will answers to questions be published on the website?
So I expect that for us to be updating this regularly. So it shouldn't be an extended period between a submission. We'll be regularly monitoring the box. I don't have a specific date, number of days.
But they will be posted as new questions come in. The responses will be posted to the website as they come in, correct?
Yes. Are those the only questions?
Anything else?
That's all I see right now. We can give it another couple minutes in case folks
Mhm.
have anything else that comes to mind. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think we can wrap up.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. As we said, we will be posting the official answers on our website. And as I mentioned, please do not hesitate. Send your questions to the RFP Metro North Workforce Board email if you come up with, the question later on today. So please feel free to do so. With that, I want to say thanks again, and I think we're gonna adjourn here.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, you have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.